Yo, welcome to the video. We're going to be doing a quick and brief role overview of each role in the game. We have L, we have investigators, we have Kira, and we have the Kira followers. Let's start with L. Now L, his job is to stay away from people. Stay away from people, and I mean this genuinely. The reason why you want to stay away from people is so you don't get your name taken from you. You don't want your ID taken because you will lose it instantly if Kira is the person that took your ID. So your objective is to never be around people. You want to also use your commands. Don't use them too fast though. Use them when people are situated and doing things. Don't use it as the exact start. You also have surveillance cameras you can use. Monitor those as much as possible. Only in the rooms though. You can't see people outside. So that's what Kira is going to use. They're probably going to be outside doing the notebook. If they're inside, they're kind of trolling, but most of the time they do it inside for some reason. But anyway, it is what it is. There are some areas that don't have cameras until later, until you get the surveillance camera ability later on when you're doing investigations. But yes. L can also command others during the voting phase. He can tell them what to do or like kind of lead the investigation a little bit, kind of help them out because he is the leader of the investigation team. No one knows who L is technically. So you can kind of say that you're L, but be careful, that can backfire. People will probably think you're trolling and they probably might just suspect you even more. So be careful. You might end up being the person that's getting cooked. Anyway, that's all I have to say for L. Just be very, very evasive. Do not do anything just don't get too close. When you see Kira do his commands to make people all gather up in one area, do not go out there. Let the investigators do it for you. So yes, that's all I have to say about that. Let's move on. Investigators. Write down anyone suspicious in your investigation notepad. Your notepad will serve as a clue after you die. That's all you have to do. Remember that. Suspicious people are people that are going to come next to you, and without giving you any like word, most of the time they'll just go over, they'll look at you, and they'll just try to take your ID. This happens quite often. You want to know how to avoid this? Stay away from people. Only go to the people that you're assigned to go to. If there's a joint investigation, team up with that person. Oh yeah, also L can also do joint investigations where he can bring two people together, his most trusted people. Hopefully he does it when they're, he knows that they're investigators, and put them together. Because if they are together and one of them is Kira's follower, there's an issue here. But yes, for the most part, the investigator, try to be as evasive as possible as well. Just when you have to surveil, you're going to have to go out. So they're kind of like the martyrs. They're kind of like the sacrifices, in my opinion. When you die, you leave a dying message. If you, of course, know who was around you, the less people that's around you, the better, because that means your dying message has more meaning. So do what I just said, basically. It's just way easier for everybody in the game, especially the investigation team. Because if you don't, it's going to be chaotic. Whenever Kira does the command where he pretty much has everybody gather into one spot or 3 different areas, whichever one it is, that's when it becomes a little bit tough. People have to kind of not be together so much. Try to avoid being too many people in one area. If you see that someone's already doing the investigation, let them do it. Do not waste your time. Do not help them out, because if you help, you're making potential, more confusion for your team as the investigator. So that's all I got to say about that. Be as precise as possible with your dying messages if you get, end up getting KO'd. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Moving on. Kira. Kira. Now, Kira is a very interesting one. So they have the Death Note in their possession. They can move the Death Note to the Kira follower if they want to, but for the most part, let's talk about their Death Note actions. So basically, they can kill whoever they have the ID of. They can kill criminals to increase the progress bar. They can use commands to bring people together and make them more susceptible to getting their ID stolen, especially if the investigators are playing really well. It'll be a lot more difficult for Kira if they're playing really well. Also, Kira's follower, who we will talk about in a little bit. We'll talk about that. But for the most part, that's what Kira does. And also Kira is also going to be very evasive as well. Very evasive. You do not want Kira going next to anybody. It's because you don't want him to be suspected. So you don't want him to be next to people either. So most of the time, Kira is not going to be around as well. Because if he is, he's basically selling the bag as the killing side. So yes, that's all I have to say about that. Pretty much. That's about it. Moving on. Kira's follower. They steal IDs from investigators. They can they give it to Kira. And they can be arrested. If they are arrested with the ID, then they'll be basically incarcerated the entire game. So be very careful when holding an ID as Kira's follower. You want to give that ID to Kira as fast as possible. If you know that you're going to be suspected, give it to it as fast as possible. That's all I got to say. Try to find Kira as fast as possible. Otherwise, you're going to get caught, especially if you're very suspicious. Yes. That's all I have to say about that. And again, she's very... Sorry. The follower can also become the Kira as well if Kira decides to give the Death Note to the follower using the keys. I think I forgot to mention one thing about investigators. So I actually forgot this, but I don't know if I did, but if I didn't mention it, sorry. But as an investigator, if you do go next to somebody to surveil them, make sure to say that you're surveilling them, because if you don't, yeah, you're going to take a large L, or you're going to be very suspicious. So be careful with that. Anyway, yeah, Kira followers do just that. You need to steal IDs, give Kira the IDs so that he can kill them, etc. He can kill up to 1 to 2 people a day. I'm pretty sure it's around there because some people change the rules here and there. But yes, for the most part, that's all I have to say. And I think that's about it with the game. That's all I have to say about the roles, like briefly. Those are your roles, man. I hope you guys, got some info from that, some insight, and maybe even play a better, game of Death Note, because most people just tend to be crowded and they don't pay attention. And this is how games get lost so easily for the investigation side, or it becomes like chaotic and people go, I think it was him because just trust me. Yeah, just trust me, that it's him. Oh, don't worry. And and it's just so funny when like you could play a really good game if everyone plays very discreet on both ends. I'm telling you, like, anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys actually figured out how to play the game. If my video gave you help, cool. Let me know in the comments below if you need help, if there's any additional help, like maybe you don't understand what I'm saying. Let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video, dislike it if you don't like it, whatever. I don't know what you want to do. Helps the channel. Both sides help the channel. Appreciate it. Subscribe for more Death Note content. I do Death Note live streams, etc. We do live streams around here. Anyway, peace.